From Axe and Hail, I will destroy Ethan Ralph of the kill stream. In Smash Brothers with my main, King DDD. Well, I've seen Ralph play Smash Brothers, and you could probably defeat him with anybody. He's not very good at it. He kept getting his shit, just kicked in left and right. I watched a little bit of him playing the game on his Bing Bing Wahoo machine, and just not talented, not skillful, Ralph. It's fucking, it's a little bit sad, I'll be honest with you. It's a children's game on a baby's console. How are you, you, you hold the direction you want to go and you hit the attack button and the game plays itself. Why are you having such difficulties with this? He even got beaten by Andy Worski, a stuttering, failed stand-up comedian who was probably high on fucking cocaine at the time. Just smacking him around left and right on the stage. You need to get a real man's fighting game, Ralph. And then you need to challenge me in it. King of Fighters, Tekken, doesn't really matter. Just something that requires more than A button. Whether that's the actual A button or the B button. One of those two. Maybe a third button. Let's get really fucking crazy about it. 3 buttons. Could we have a fighting game with 3 buttons? I don't know. We're reaching Sega Genesis levels of Street Fighter. For all you Zoomers out there, you actually had to hit the fucking start button to switch between your punches and your kicks. And Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter if you had that fucking horrible 3-button controller. Alright, chat. Let's take it with Veggie Bat, talking about Google's algorithm taking down content that it hates. I'm not sure how familiar people are with the different content creators that are on YouTube. There's one by the name of ER. Puts out a lot of good stuff, did some Steven Universe videos, did stuff reviewing anime and shows and shit like that. Funny stuff, good content. It was featured in a Pewdiepie video, given a recommendation saying, hey, I watched a video he did, I thought it was funny. Maybe go give him a sub. Very, very small shout out in a list of like 20, 25 people. So there were other people in the list. But oh no, somebody has a sense of humor. They need to put a little bit of funny shit in their videos. And it's not exactly kosher. This started a bit of a shitstorm. And of course, PewDiePie is a man walking around with a target on his back. Because you can't have a sense of humor these days. People just can't handle that shit anymore. So articles were written. People were offended. They were very, very upset. And what do you know, lo and behold, after the recommendation goes out and the hit piece articles come out, ER starts getting flags on his channel. Now, secondary to that, not because of a PewDiePie recommendation, but Mumkey Jones, another YouTube content creator, did some Elliot Rogers videos, some other funny stuff, had his channels repeatedly struck within a very short period of time. I think he got 2 strikes on his 2 main channels each, so 4 strikes in total, within like an hour's time. Went to appeal it, didn't go through, got even more strikes, had the channels taken down, was giving people updates on a YouTube channel that he used for gaming. I believe that's been pulled down too now at this point. So people are getting knocked off left and right. And what I find interesting about the people that are getting hit is that they're not really political sphere people. They're not somebody you would assume that's going to be targeted. They're not necessarily huge channels. I mean, they have a decent-sized sub base, but they're not overly political either. It's mostly comedy, reviews, funny shit, occasionally talking about a societal issue, but they're getting nailed and just absolutely closed down pretty quickly. I think Mumkey had to start his own website to host his shit, and he's got a Patreon up to help fund that, I believe. ER right now is, he still has his channel, but I don't fucking know what's going on with that. It is dark days. I think Andrew Anglin was probably the canary in the coal mine when it comes to this. Back when the Daily Stormer was getting basically shit on by everybody. And it was deemed acceptable. Now, it's not that sites haven't been taken off the internet before. That's happened, multiple times through the last at least decade that I can remember. Sites like other sites, always constantly getting fucked with because of the content that they have on it, having to jump from provider to provider to try to survive. Having to go to other fucking countries to try to survive. But the thing that made it interesting with the Stormer and with Anglin in particular was that you had the heads of these companies coming out. This wasn't some automated fucking response. This wasn't a letter writing campaign. These are people at Cloudflare and just other places coming out and saying, yeah, you know what, we're not going to be associated with this. This needs to go away now. We're going to take your domain. We're not going to give you service. We're not going to do this, this, this. No protection. No Cloudflare. No DDoS protection. None of that shit. Just fuck off. Get off the internet. And some people were upset. I think the people that saw that maybe it was going to set a presidents? Is it President's Day? No, I'm saying words wrong again. I took too many hits in my favorite futuristic sports, hyperbole, so I can't say that word. But I think you get what I'm saying. But once that kind of happened, I don't know. I had an uneasy feeling about where things were going to go. Then you saw Gap. Now people have given Torba shit. I know Josh from Kiwi Farms has said, "Hey, he's had a fucking year to prepare. He's fundraised like $1 million. He knew this shit was coming. He knew he was going to get fucked with. He knew his site was going to get fucked with. He should have been more prepared. He should have had a plan B and a plan C and a plan D in place." But somebody posts something on Gab, and what ends up happening is, I think it was Microsoft Azure, somebody that he was doing business with, basically said, "Hey, if these posts don't disappear within the next, I don't know what the time frame they gave them was, an hour, 2 hours a day, you're done. We're pulling our service and you're fucked." And again, it's another example of, oh, you can kind of see a progression of things happening here, can't you? Now we've seen, I don't even know how to. It's a lot of little isolated incidents that are kind of building up to something. So you've got these two guys, you've got these two websites that kind of get taken out, or at least hampered. Then you've got alternative sites that are starting to pop up that are trying to do stuff, like BitChute that has its funding pulled from by Stripe, I believe it was. You have Patreon removing people because I don't even think it was Stripe this time. I think it was a credit card company said you need to pull these people down. You have YouTube removing people left and right. And it's just, it builds and it builds and it builds. And with this kind of, it's, I put a clip up, I should say my friend put a clip up on his Twitter talking about the 3Ds, demonetize, depersonalize, and deplatform. And it's a coordinated thing. You saw this with Alex Jones in particular. Kick his ass off social media, cut off his funding, and try to put him into a little regulated echo chamber where he can't really say anything or do anything. And it just gets progressively more and more and more. And the thing that kind of spooks me a little bit about ER and Mumkey Jones is they're not a Torba, they're not an Alex Jones, they aren't an Andrew Anglin. But, their shit gets deemed inappropriate for whatever reason. Somebody gets a stick up their ass and they're gone. They're fucking out of here. Never to be seen again. And if that's going to start happening to people that, again, aren't really aligned with all this political shit, but kind of just do their own thing, and maybe they touch on it a little bit, but they're not really focused on it, I got a bad feeling about what's coming down the pipeline. I said when YouTube started its streaming service, and, you got all the shit that's going on with their subscribe buttons, the join for an amount of money, usually through YouTube Gaming, the super chats, all of that they were going to be fairly lax on it. That they were going to take a kind of laid back approach because they wanted to compete with Twitch. They wanted to draw in an audience. Well, we're getting to the point where they've drawn in that audience. And now they can start to get picky about who they let stay and who they kick off, who gets monetization and who doesn't. I don't know if you caught the news recently about the spam accounts that got removed. A lot of people lost subs. Big accounts lost more, obviously, because they're going to have more just distributed through the numbers. PewDiePie, I think, lost like 50,000. T-Series lost 200,000. Some lost a few hundred, a few thousand here and there, but there were a lot of accounts that were kind of removed. Now, the thing that I found interesting wasn't that YouTube was telling people, we're removing spam accounts. What I found interesting was one of the little caveats that was listed when they were presenting this article that said, if your subscriber number, because of this purge, goes below the threshold for monetization and partnership, you don't get to keep it. We're actually going to remove you from the program, and you'll have to reapply. It's a very fucking sneaky approach. Remove just enough to get some of those problematic individuals, some of those smaller channels, some of those more active people to not have a partnership thing where they can do certain things with their channel, to not have monetization where they can make money doing stuff with their channel. Just kind of slide it on in there. And anybody that's tried to apply for partnership or monetization after the changes went into effect over the last 6 months or so will tell you that it takes months and months and months to get a response, even if you go through the list of things they want you to do to put it into review. So people getting deplatformed and kicked off. I mean, I think everybody kind of saw what happened with Ethan Ralph of the Ralph Retort. He does a charity stream, raises a lot of money, 27,000 I think in total for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Article comes out saying how terrible all the super chat donations were. Money gets refunded, and God, it must have been within an hour or two of the next stream that he did that all his channels were basically taken off, and he was thrown off the platform. Sargon recently lost his Patreon due to comments that he made about the alt-right. I won't repeat them. I'm a gentleman. I don't want to say that horrendous racist language. That would be wrong of me. But yeah, times are changing on the internet, and I'm not very optimistic for where it's going to go. I know that's not necessarily a rosy outlook that people want to hear on a Sunday Funday stream, but I think it's a reality, and I think it's going to get more oppressive going forward, which is one of the reasons why I'm looking at streaming. I mean, I've tried other streaming sites before. I used to go to Hitbox before I got banned on Hitbox. Even tried Twitch, but I was preemptively banned on Twitch. Ugh. Not that you really could do much over there. I mean, they're one of those sites that really is hammering home that new policy of if you do or say anything anywhere on the internet, not just on our platform, we will throw your ass off. You're going to be gone out the fucking window. Ass kicked right out the fucking door. So I'm hoping Stream Me will be a good alternative, and that it'll work out, and that I can do my little art contest, and we can laugh at retards in relative peace without getting fucked with. That would be great. That'd be neato, wouldn't it? But fingers crossed. Who knows how that's going to work out? Twitch is cancer. Yeah. F for Twitch. Yeah. No, I'm hearing that. Chat. Twitch is shit. I mean, fuck. Look at somebody like Destiny. Destiny is probably one of the biggest leftists on the internet. He's very liberal. I don't think anybody could look at Destiny and say, that guy's a conservative. That guy's a right-winger. And I'm pretty sure his ass is petrified of how they're going to react to him on Twitch. I know he's been real fucking cautious with his subreddit and with his social media accounts, because they're on your ass. Of course, I think the only person that's actually impervious to this shit is Darkside Phil. The only human being that exists that could walk through a fire fueled by shit and come out fine on the other end. I don't know how he does it. God knows Phil says stupid shit everywhere on the internet. But that man is touched by God. Somehow he survives it. But yeah, I wouldn't want to move to the Twitch platform. I don't have big titties that I can shake for the camera. And I say naughty things. And I'd be fucking ejected really quickly. That's right. F. All those Fs. There we go. Just act stupid? Is that his special fucking gift? Do I have to run around acting like I'm touched in the head to survive? Do I gotta go full retard on this? I mean, I could try it. I suppose if you're fucking retarded enough, legitimately retarded enough, you could say anything you want and they have to accept it. Because you don't think so good. So they can't really come down on you. Is that going to be the next YouTube trend? Is that the next cycle we're going to see? Are a bunch of people doing retard voices while they talk about the Jews? Is that how you're going to get around all the new censorship and the approach that YouTube is taking? As a way to outsmart Google? You can't fuck with me, Google. I may be a conservative, but I am fucking retarded. Checkmate.